Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Rook here, and today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes that new users tend to make. So these are all going to be things that you either want to know going in or at least be aware of. The number one thing is not understanding your reputation score. Your reputation score is a hidden attribute. You'll never know what it is, but it's constantly in flux. It's always moving up or down. And that's actually the number one thing that X uses, or what the X algorithm uses to decide how many people are going to see your content. Okay, so just as all this is covered in a different video, but a handful of things that will uh, ruin your reputation score, which will cause you to get seen by less people, are some of the obvious things like showing or engaging with sensitive content, like adult content. Using a lot of foul language, being toxic overall. There are words that will kind of get you docked, and common sense will tell you what those words are. They're basically the same ones we can't say on YouTube. Um, but those things will all cause your reputation score to decrease. As far as increasing it, you always want to be looking to get followers from larger accounts than yourself. Getting follows from more reputable accounts will increase your reputation score. Okay, that's the one thing we know for certain. Now, there's some anecdotal evidence that you know that likes, comments, reposts, bookmarks. Like I say, there's some evidence that those things will increase your reputation score as well. And honestly, it does make sense because the more action, the more people tend to engage with your content. The X algorithm will make the assumption that others want to see it as well. So, all of those things will likely increase your reach as well, or increase your reputation score, which will in turn increase your reach. Okay, number two is following everybody. Now that's something that that a lot of newer accounts do, but the problem that you run into is um, now you could go in something like this and follow these people back, provided that it's within a reasonable amount of time. But the problem that you have in just going through and following everybody is how how your following to follower ratio looks. So Moose looks pretty good here. Good guy, by the way. But let's say that that you're a new user and you have 2,000. You're following like 2,000 people, but you only have like 700 followers. So when I'm looking around, what people decide whenever they're deciding whether, or what they're looking for when they decide whether or not they want to follow you, is they're going to check out your bio to make sure that that you have some common interest. But then they're also going to look at this. Okay, so if you only have 700 followers, um, when somebody looks at it, they may think that something is wrong with you. Okay, why do you have this amount? Why are you following this amount of people? But 1,000 or more people looked at you and said no thanks. Okay, so all of a sudden you look a little bit weird, and some people just simply won't take a chance on you. So basically, you want to try to, especially when you're new, you want to try to keep these numbers similar. So you probably want to uh, be a little bit more selective in your following, and only try to follow people who you're reasonably certain are going to follow you back. If you have large accounts that you want to follow just because you enjoy their content, you don't necessarily have to follow them, because it's going to bring us to the number three thing on the list, which is using lists. Okay, so if you come up to lists here, and lists are good for new people, definitely. Especially if you're trying to get monetized, you're trying to get those 5 million impressions. but they're also good for anybody. I mean, I use them for some of my favorite creators here to look through these posts, and this is where I usually will pick up most of my followers. I'll come through uh, because I know they're going to be kind of similar to me because they follow somebody that I really like. Okay, so this is not terrible here. He's a lawyer. That's one strike against him. Just kidding. But this is how I get my followers. And see, I know he's still online because he just posted this 42 seconds ago. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is someone who now. Why did 500 people that he's following look at him and say, "I'm not following this guy"? So uh, personally, I probably wouldn't care, but some people will look at that and say and think that maybe something's wrong with them. Okay, but back to the list here. Like I say, I use them for following new people. Definitely will use them for engagement. And what happens is these are and well, let me just finish up here. Even the larger accounts, that's they use them just to kind of follow their favorite creators. You know, and I said you don't really have to follow these people. Now I do on some of these. Pammy, I know I follow, but if you look at someone like who was that? DC Drano. Okay, okay. So I don't follow DC Drano, but because he's on the list, as long as you're on your the for you section, he's going to show up on here. Okay, so now if you can't go to just following, and it'll be only the people you follow. But I stay pretty much on this because I have people on my list that I'm not following. So you don't technically have to follow them. You can just put them on a list, and they'll still show up in your timeline. Now the beautiful thing about this, now it's kind of hard to tell because Pammy has been reposting a lot of stuff, but basically this will sort by um, it's in chronological order, so it's very helpful for when you're trying to get monetized and you're trying to really go after those impressions. You would want to now this one's it's probably a little late in the game on this one. If you're wanting to maximize your impressions, you want to try to get this within like a minute, so you're closer to the top. Okay, so that's not using lists enough to me is a big deal, not just for new people, but really for anybody, no matter where you are in your X journey. Okay, number four is only, and this is something. These last two, I'm kind of guilty of both of these, and that's following only people in your primary niche. Okay, so obviously I'm a political poster. There's no very little question about that. Okay, but my whole life doesn't revolve around it. I also follow, gaming. I follow technology. I follow culture, things like movies, film. So following people in those areas as well beneficial in case you get because it's quite easy to get stagnant talking to the same people all the time about the same stuff all the time. So I like to mix it up. As like I say, mostly I'm a political poster, but I have I'm getting called out here. I'm getting ready to rip this guy a new one. This is a post from Grums. Grums is in the gaming space, and I showed this in an earlier video also. But this just kind of goes to show. So I could, um, uh, it's nice to be able to have a conversation about something. Now this one has like maybe some political overtones in it, but I'm just as comfortable talking about about the state of the gaming industry or upcoming movies. Looking at movie trailers and things of that nature. That just makes your whole X experience a lot better. If you're not stuck just talking about one thing. Um, so that was number four, and the last one is not commenting on enough posts. Okay, so one of the things that you can do to kind of help your reach is to uh, comment on pretty much as much as you humanly possible. You cannot comment too much. Okay, the more you comment with unique users, uh, if you, let's say you make a post, the way X is trying to figure out who would be interested in that post. So if you've interacted with somebody either recently or you interact with them regularly on the platform, then X is going to assume that those people want to see your content. So it's going to increase your reach. Okay, so now is such a thing as maybe posting too much. I can't find anything concrete on that, but anecdotally, you'll find that posting more than a couple of times an hour is really going to kind of hinder your reach. So there is such a thing as maybe posting too much, but commenting, have at it. The more you comment and the more unique users you comment with, the better. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more tips on how to improve your X experience. That's all I've got for today. Until next time, stay creative and keep posting.